Hello everyone. This is going to be weird because I've not done anything on here for a very long time, but I felt a need to now. I've been looking very, very hard at a lot of the conspiracy type theory things, and so I'm a bit sort of bunged up. You'll have to excuse me. And there's a number of things that sort of have made me think an awful lot. It appears that there's some really serious stuff going on in the States, and if a quarter of what appears to be going on is actually going on, then that country is in serious trouble. And if they're in serious trouble, we'll be in serious trouble. We have our own problems here, obviously in the UK, and we have a government which is just as corrupt and just as screwed up, and you know that's something that we in the UK, we're having to deal with. We have to deal with that, and we have to work towards solving that problem. Um, but it's not going to be helped by the fact that the uh, the US is in a much worse state. Apparently, I'm going to deal with a number of issues over a period of um, vlogs, really. And on this one, what I need to talk about today is the state of the US dollar. Now, it's been known, as many know, it's common knowledge now that the Federal Reserve in the US um, are the guys that actually make the money. And it's also very well known that the Federal Reserve then provide the money to the US government, but they charge interest on it. It's also very well known that the national debt of the US is absolutely enormous. It's trillions of dollars, and not all of that debt is owned. It's owed in back into the US, because other countries have actually bought US debt. Some of it apparently is in China, and other countries have actually bought US debt. Um, that can only be bad for the US because obviously, if their economy gets into such a situation where they cannot repay that debt could be called in, and then that means basically the US is bankrupt. And I already believe that the US is bankrupt anyway. Um, I believe it's been bankrupt for a very long time. As soon as they actually took separated, um, I believe in the 1930s, but don't quote me on that one. Separated the money from the gold, and then you had the Federal Reserve note, and anybody that's actually attempted to challenge the Federal Reserve has found themselves in serious difficulties. Uh, Another problem, of course, is the fact that uh, there is so much money, so much wealth is owned by very few at the very top end of society, um, and it's not filtering down. Everything keeps getting paid up and up and up, and those at the top just keep getting richer and richer and richer. So there is at the very top an insanity of greed, a madness of greed. Those people just keep on wanting more and more and more at any cost. It appears that because of their absolute greed and because of their absolute wealth, they can buy anyone and anything. I say anyone first because they've been buying US presidents, US Senate for years. And the biggest problem that the US government has at this time is that they have a puppet in the White House who's paid for by the big rich banks and corporations to do their bidding. And it would appear that the bidding of those at the very top of US society, and in actual fact world society, are called the Illuminati. Now, I didn't take a lot of this very seriously when I first heard about it. So I decided, obviously, to cross-reference, have a look a little deeper, and see what I could find out. What I did find out is very, very scary indeed. It's a very worrying situation. I don't know what the outcome's going to be there, but I do know that what really needs to happen in relation to the money side is that the hold the hold that is imposed on the US dollar needs to be broken somehow. I haven't got that answer. I don't live there. But there's another problem to overcome as well, and that is complacency. Look, you guys in the States, you know that the Federal Reserve has messed up your money. You know that the banks have messed up your monetary system. You know that you're virtually bankrupt. But you seem to accept it. You seem to just carry on as if everything is okay. You don't understand that your money's worthless. This, I don't know what to say. This complacency, this almost like three monkeys attitude, you know, that exists. I don't understand. How can you sit there? How can you realistically sit there in front of your TVs every night, scoffing down your pizzas or hot dogs or whatever else, listening to the rubbish news that's being thrown at you, that just feeding your brains full of mush and garbage? How can you realistically sit there and just allow all this to soak into you when your country's falling apart? How can you not do something about it? There's many other issues. Many other issues. The police, the militarization of the police force, the NSA, the TSA. Why have you let that happen? Why have you allowed the government of your country to enslave you? How is it that they have grown so powerful that you now believe you can do nothing about it? It's amazing. It's amazingly stupid. I beg you to wake up and pay attention to what's going on around you. I beg you to break away from the mundane garbage that's thrown at you on a day-to-day basis through the media, which is pretty much all lies. They only tell you what you need to hear. They don't tell you the truth about everything, because they're run by the corporations and by the big banks, and the big banks have all the power, and by the politicians, and the politicians decide what you're going to hear. Wake up. Wake up. Start thinking. Look at what's around you. You can change it. You can change it. But you've got to wake up. You've got to wake up now and be prepared to make a difference. Don't give up your guns. Don't give up your freedom. Fight for your rights. And just look after each other. Look out for each other. Stop your in-house bickering. Stop your fights between each other. Stop your religious fights. Stop your race fights. You will all need each other to get through the next few years. Because if you don't work together, if you don't work as one United States of America, the people of the USA, you are going to get crushed. Please, I beg of you, wake up.